and gentlemen, welcome to ROC Solid Wrestling Talk Podcast, the one and only podcast, ROC Solid. You already knew that. We are live, ROC City Series, down here at Flower City Wrestling Academy. Hell of a place. You're going to see a whole lot more of this coming in the coming months. We got Chico Libre here on the call. As usual, we got paper champion Kenny Cornette down there on the end.
Just stay calm, guys. Stay calm.
Yeah, and Buck Nasty Marcus Johnson, the ROC Solid World's Heavyweight Champion. You already know. Just like I told y'all during the press conference, man with a cheap shot. But it's okay. That's okay. He says not for long. He's saying not for long. Next week, it was supposed to be this week, guys, but next week is when we will have our championship match. Long-awaited ROC Solid World Heavyweight Championship match between Buck Nasty Marcus Johnson and Kenny Cornette.
Yeah, because I want to turn Buck Nasty, the world's nastiest hater, into the world's biggest loser, and I'm not talking about the reality show.
Oh, you know what? Okay, he got jokes. He got jokes, but that's not how we do. We live in reality over here. The reality is, this stays right here. Point blank, period. Anyway, bunch to talk about today. AEW has had a show. I guess you can call it that, right?
This week wasn't the best show, let's say that.
Yeah, I mean, and
better than Raw, I'll say that.
Oh yeah, it's always better than Raw, of course. But I want to get this clear. I want to say this right now. The fact that there's a lot of scrutiny going around about the fact that AEW is like supposed to have this like kick-ass, bombastic, pay-per-view quality show every single week. Even their bad shows are better than the other alternative. And that's just, we're biased. Obviously, you've been watching this since the beginning. You know we're biased, and we're unapologetically biased. So that much is already said. What remains to be seen.
It's mediocre and it's still top.
Mediocre? I mean, it started out hot. Like, normally these types of shows do start out hot.
You can't expect the same stuff to be on TV every week. You gotta switch it up.
Exactly, but that's why Tony Khan said that himself. He cycles it. Like, he did that purposely. He hired that many people.
They have the roster to do it.
To have the roster to be able to cycle through, talent. Give them time off, give them rest, stuff like that. Give us fresh content is pretty much the biggest thing. So, but that being said, I know we praise AEW a lot on this show, and we don't really look at whether or not AEW has glaring issues or anything like that. So, question of the week time: is there anything that AEW has that is like a really big glaring issue, or something they should fix like immediately to get the products kind of snapping back? Chico, we'll start with you. What do you think?
Well, I had a hot take when I was every year. I have an issue with some of these legends like not giving their guys the rub as they should.
What is the rub anyway? What do you think?
The rub is where the established legend gets paired with a up-and-coming individual.
Yeah.
So by them being together, whether it's like teaming up, whether they're in a match together, it helps this up-and-comer like get their clout.
Yeah.
Like the best example of it is Sting and Darby.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that is probably the best example of it going on today, because they just go so hand in hand together. It's not about people trying to chase their old glory like Hardy. And, of course, he goes to Jericho immediately, but that's okay. That's all right.
I told you.
Jericho is number one on Kenny Cornette's hit list. That's okay. That's fine. Besides Buck Nasty.
Stop. No, don't do that.
Yeah, we saw.
Better listen, Jericho.
Yeah, we saw some teases
again.
this week.
Yes.
Of there possibly being some friction in the inner circle and Hardy family offices and their backstage circuits. Sting came out and interrupted and yelled out to Satara TT, like, you know why you guys are the tag team champs? Which is something that not only I, but I think a lot of people have this sentiment that Santana Ortiz have been background players for way too long.
And Kingston's saying that. And he's saying it audibly, on air, and repeatedly, like you said.
It's not just an angle, it's legitimate.
Like, thank God. And I like that about Kingston, the fact that he can bring that realism to it. He says what everybody's thinking. That's cool. You know, that's how you're supposed to do. So, I mean,
He's just talking.
yeah, that's what it, but that's how you should be doing promos or whatever, is just talking. And I'm pretty sure, you know,
Punk's good at it too.
a bunch of the guys here in Flower City, they know that too. You know, that's how it goes. You know, nice. You know, this is a nice establishment here, obviously, and so it's going to be in people's minds to be able to say, okay, well, that's what's going to make people gravitate towards what I got to say, is the fact that, you know, there's a kernel of realism here. And that's what I feel like Eddie Kingston does best. So I am in full agreement about the whole Jericho thing, because he's taken, for lack of a better term, he's taken the spotlight away from people that needed the spotlight right away, and then calling it, oh, I'm putting them over. I'm doing that. Like, I'm not so sure about that. Like, what do y'all think? You know, this is, I just don't understand, like, where you, it's just Jericho, to be honest. Is there anybody else that does this?
No, it's just
that you think of?
Well, like I said, you know, the whole Matt Hardy thing, I don't think it's working out very well for Private Party.
I think he's realizing that.
Or Blade, or Butcher and Blade.
Yeah, 'cause you haven't seen Butcher and Blade. You haven't seen Pepper Parks anywhere.
And we haven't seen Hybrid too.
Yeah, I don't know where they are. The last time I saw Hybrid 2, they were
getting his head shaved.
Oh yeah, that too. That was our night, right? They were here in Rochester when they did that. Yeah, I was gonna say, last time I saw him, he's outside smoking a cigarette. So
yeah, when it comes to them, that could be a contract thing. Maybe they're not getting renewed. I'm not all that sure on that.
and that's a big difference as well, like with between the WWE. I'm not gonna harp on this a whole lot today, but the fact is, oh, I almost went pipe bomb there. But the fact that Dwayne is in the main event of WrestleMania and I'm not makes me sick.
You went this pipe bomb.
Yeah, dial it back.
I digress. But the fact that you know, they're kind of, I feel like they're kind of starting to dial it back with, you know, how they're going about things in AEW at the current moment with contracts and talent and things like that.
Yeah,
Big
he's
Swole.
on there to run out rather than just fire.
Exactly. Rather than just fire and let them go.
They're not going to release 80 people in a year.
Right.
I don't see it.
Exactly. Yeah. That shouldn't be a record. Like,
And they're going to beat it again this year.
But that's again. Yeah. Oh yeah. They're gonna beat it again. It's gonna be 100
What was it,
people.
80?
Yeah, 80.
Let's make it 90.
I feel like it should be 90.
Let's go 3.
90 sounds good. My God. But.
Oh my God.
But you gotta think, like, Vince gets off on that at some point. It's like these are people's livelihoods, man.
Like Kabako getting off on giving the kid detention when she was cooking him. Like, oh, you dropped the pencil.
Detention. But it sucks because, you know, like you said, well, like I said, people's livelihoods are at stake. But that's something AEW does well, as to not, you know, release a whole bunch of talent or anything like that. But what I want to get back to real quick is any glaring issues besides the fact that, you know, the whole legends thing, giving them the rub, that type of thing.
I was going to say Cody or Bill was in that situation.
Yeah. I mean,
Even he's talking about it.
yeah, Cody says he regrets it, but I don't think Cody's a legend per se or whatever, so it doesn't get that whole, perspective on it or anything like that.
He's an established guy.
Yeah. Okay, so in terms of an established guy rather than somebody green, right? So, okay. I can understand that. I mean, but is there any other instance of that going on?
Cut out a lot of the backstage interruptions.
Yeah, okay. That's what I was looking for. Backstage interruptions. Do you think there's too many of those?
It's entirely too many.
To what extent, yeah.
Okay, so
It's not just backstage, like when you're in the ring cutting a promo.
yeah,
As soon as you say somebody's name, they're already coming out.
the run-ins, the run-ins and the interruptions backstage, they go hand in hand. So
How long before Sting finally got a chance to talk without getting interrupted?
yeah, you're right. It's like we're big Simpsons mark, so it's like Maggie in that episode. Every time she tries to talk, stop everything. Like no, let them speak. But I mean.
Kingston brought that up too. Like he tried to go cut a promo. Somebody
Yeah, he's like, oh my god.
that's great. This guy.
I do love how they're self-aware like that, though. Like it's wonderful to see that, and that's what AEW does best is the fact that it doesn't insult intelligence to be a wrestling fan. Like we already know what this is as wrestling fans, wrestling personalities, whoever you want to call it. We's wrestling personalities, you know that. But the fact is that AEW doesn't take that for granted, and I feel like kind of the other place does. So, not to keep knocking them or anything like that, but because it's kind of a. You see how hard it is for us to bash AEW? We're trying to. It just doesn't work that way. So
Yeah, and with any wrestling company, there's always going to be like a couple misses here and there.
yeah,
That's just
they're not
how
perfect,
wrestling is.
and they're not supposed to be perfect. But everybody in this day and age tries to hold them to be perfect because they're not WWE. They're jealous if if AEW does something right, but then they'll go and clown something like the exploding barbed wire match. Which again, the match was great. The aftermath wasn't so great. It was the aftermath. It had nothing to do with the match. And I said this many times on here.
But then as time goes on, like we low key forgot about it. Like people don't even really talk about it like that anymore.
Yeah.
And as long as they're putting on like 90% dope shit and 10% weak shit,
Yeah.
I'll be sound as a pastor.
Oh man, but you're right. I mean, it's a margin for error. They're supposed to have a margin for error, and the fact that it seems like, oh, well, AEW can't do this. They can't do that. Stop doing it. Oh, they're doing this wrong. It's something super minuscule, and it's not even that serious. And they'll just keep coming at you, Oh, this is bad. This is bad. Look what they did. This is terrible. Like, no, it's not that terrible. Like, right.
Raw replay every week for 365 days a year, damn near.
And they're still
52 weeks a year.
and they're still going, and it's one of those things where it's like,
Oh, but they got a big return this week. Lita's back.
big return. If you could call it that, I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I always say that. But then I think about the fact that we're talking about the E, and I'm never sorry. Buck Nasty's never apologetic. Never apologetic when it comes to the E. I don't like the E. Rock solid.
And this goes back to what we talked about last week, where because they fired so many women this past year, they have to promote like the legends ahead of time to get any kind of.
Hey guys, watch this Rumble. Look
Somewhat
who's gonna be in
interest in
it.
who's gonna be in the Rumble, as opposed to the legends being a surprise. Like,
Yeah,
That's
it's
like
like
Rumble. This is all about surprises. Get you to tune in.
it's all about surprises. What's he doing? Hey, look at this guy. TJ Epics, everybody. That's my boy. I told y'all we down here at Flower City Wrestling Academy. These are some good guys, gals down here. And we're going to give y'all a little look-see a little bit later on as well.
yeah, stay tuned for the
Yes, absolutely. Stay tuned. This is why we had to spare Kenny Cornett's ass kicking for a week. This is why.
Just gonna let you talk.
But that's okay, It's all right. The goal is to stay where it's at, but I move on anyway.
Because we want to get into some positives that happened on Dynamite, even though there were some weird decisions.
Oh, yeah, some weird decisions for sure.
Such as Pentagon Matt Hardy mask and
And he lost in his hometown
in front of his family. Like,
yeah, that was.
what was that about? Like, that never happens.
But
At least in
on the
AEW.
upside, we got Malachi Black came out, and Varsity Blast trying to make a save, and then we got the debut of Brody King. Which
Brody King.
Everyone's been calling for a while, so now they're
Even right before he showed up as well.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, it wasn't, the people didn't react to it. Like, they were chanting his name before the lights even went out. Like, stop. There's anything to try and harpoon whatever it is that AEW is doing, they will do it.
because the shit they watch falls flat.
Exactly. They want what we got, but they can't have what we got. Too bad.
Goldberg again.
Oh, we're forced to like that. Well, oh, yeah. Oh, they like Goldberg again. They like it. They're forced to like it.
Goldberg again. Oh yeah, he has one more match.
He's going to show back up.
No. They have the pipe in shit already, but that's not really the case inside the arena. Right? Am I right?
Yeah, you're right. Yep. I don't remember the last time I've been to a WWE show, so like, it could have changed. The whole practice could have changed at this point. It did change, but I don't want to see that in person. I would want to go just to boo and be butt nasty, the nastiest hater. But in which case, you got Brody King's debut. You got a whole
Britt Baker joining the Elite at the beginning of the.
Yeah, that was huge, man. Like,
because it's something that people have been clamoring for, like when Adam Cole and Baker are going to be on TV together, and it finally happened. And so after that beatdown on the Best Friends, where Adam Cole called for the kiss of the cheeks, Britt Baker was like, "No, I got this."
right now, fools. Yeah.
So causing more dissension.
Yeah, and at the same time causing that dissension. Like that's what's so good
I didn't
about
think
it.
about it like that until just now.
Yeah. Like so now she's giving you the kisses now? Like, are you kidding?
Well, this is legal for one.
But then that's not gonna matter to the Bucks. Like
Why did they go kiss each other?
Adam Cole has completely replaced them. Like with all these other people.
Yeah.
So
He's phasing them out.
yeah. And they're doing it slow, nice and slow, so that the Bucks will start to turn back face. And then once they do, that's when Kenny Omega's gonna hit, and the crowd's gonna go absolutely effing insane. So there is a method to the madness. The madness being it's gonna blow our minds. That's literally it.
The question is Adam Cole champion at the time?
Oh, that's a good question because he is number one ranked. So you got to throw that into the mix too.
Yeah, but then this week they had Lancer come out and attack Hangman after Joe.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling that.
After
Though.
Lambert came out
flat.
talking shit.
That was flat to me.
It was a nice return. Obviously, I get that, but I mean,
I'm glad that he's back.
Yeah, glad he's fine. After the what was it, Eddie Kingston match or whatever?
Yeah,
he hurt himself.
He did the moonsault and got the concussion.
Very glad that he's back and okay after that. But it was just like this was probably the wrong place to put him.
Well, he's just more page fighter. I don't think that's happening.
Yeah,
Just a weekly
it's gonna be a weekly thing. Yeah, because they do the title matches like
It'll be
during
more with him and Cole.
exactly. Yeah. So
Yes,
and that could be something too, because now that Hangman beat Omega. And then Adam Cole's gonna go and try and beat Hangman or whatever if he does beat him. Might as well say like, he's my friend now. He's my friend. He's got my respect. So it's just like,
and there's
what
still,
the hell are you doing?
There's still unfinished business with Hangman and
Hangman and who?
Hangman and like the Bucks
And remember how they were before. Remember how Adam Cole and Kenny Omega was before Omega left. They were kind of almost at each other's throats.
Yeah.
They're playing that for a reason, and that's probably a good thing. It's gonna play in.
Yeah, and the Bucks nodding at Hangman before he won the title.
Yeah.
I think that's also going to come into play.
And the storyline fact that he said he hasn't watched that match back yet.
Yeah, so he's going to watch.
Oh, okay.
He's going to watch the match and he's going to be at the Bucks
Yeah, like whatever.
I don't know, but I don't know. I mean, he could just come down to saying, like, "Oh, we gave them encouragement," that type of thing.
Yeah.
So, it could go either way.
But see, no, all those little seeds count though.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. All those little seeds
You
count.
can't branch out that storyline any way you want with all of that stuff.
They plant seeds.
Yeah.
They can't explain.
Something.
So, I mean, it's one of those things where it's just like, it's going to build, and you can trust that it's going to build, and it's going to stay building until it hits a high point. We thought the high point was, Hangman winning the title. There's no way possible that I could have predicted that they're going to continue to go on and on and on in the grand scheme of things and do something this intricate with the stories and stuff. Like,
That's
long-term story.
That's one more issue that kind of bring up to me, Paige doesn't feel like legit.
Yeah,
Even though he just beat Ryan last week, I think he should be moving to somebody even higher.
Yeah.
Like stay in that main event type caliber of people. Because I've just been gone for a minute. So he has to work his way back up.
I agree. Well, I kind of agree with that. Like, but then again, there's nobody in the main event, right?
Yeah, I think Archer's just going to be like a placeholder.
It's a placeholder.
Because I'm thinking something's going to happen with Hulk and MJF. Maybe that's the number one contendership. Maybe at Revolution, their number one contendership's on the line.
Yeah, I really think that's who's going to beat Hangman. MJF. He has to. Like, he's the only one with heel heat that high to be able to get the reaction needed to be able to pull that off of Hangman. But then again, where does Hangman go after he gets beat like that? What do you think?
The other question is too. Wardlow's number 2. Punk just beat Wardlow.
Wait, no, he didn't beat him yet. But I mean, don't look at him. Don't look at him.
Appreciate the cameo, TJ. Appreciate it.
But to get back to what I'm saying, like, Hangman, just to me, he doesn't fit. Put this on the show. Let's try to get into this one.
Because it wants to come over to me.
This is the better show.
It belongs.
No.
That's why he's sliding off. He's coming back this way.
See, I wasn't even gonna say that, but no, I'm still not gonna say that.
Just keep your mouth shut.
Yeah. Oh, it ain't gonna be shut. Yours gonna be shut. You tuck away your tail.
Just keep it all the way closed.
Yeah, you gonna make sure it's people there to see the game. Chico like, oh my God. What, John?
Chill, I still gotta rep this match next
He's
week.
literally in the middle of things. But I do think they're doing the right things right now, but everything can't fire at all cylinders at all times. It just can't. Because I was reading, that's where the question of the week came from initially, because I was reading a lot of things where everybody was just like, really just lambasting AEW for no good reason. It's just like, okay, like, at what point do you do constructive criticism, and what point are you just hating doing the Buckmaster special? So, I mean, at what point? Where do you draw the line? So, anyway, getting back to the world of wrestling and things like that, with as you can see where we are today, really big things about to start happening for your boys at the Rock Solid Wrestling Talk podcast. We are deep in the heart of Rochester, New York, so there's a whole lot of wrestling talent out here, and great talent at that, between Flower City Wrestling Academy and Upstate Pro Wrestling, so UPW as well. we're big fans of Brody. You know, we all love Brody just the same. So it's kind of uniting us, if we will, as a wrestling community in the Rochester area, and that's part of the reason why we're down. We's official sponsors now. You know, that's how it goes. Yep. Your boys are moving up in the world. That's all right. I'm already up because I'm the Rock Solid World Champion, but you know, but we're getting to a point where we also want to push the fact that it's not just about AEW, it's not just about WWE, any of those, it's not just about even GCW. Yeah, GCW is like 3 right now.
The solid number 3.
Yeah, it's a solid number 3. Like,
disputed.
Forget Impact.
Yeah, shout out to my guy Matt Cardona one more time. He won the
Did it again.
ECW TV Championship.
He's living the dream right now.
Took the chance on himself.
Did he beat Rhino?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, he was the last television champion too before ECW closed.
He beat Rhino. Okay.
Never brought the belt back.
I think Chelsea Green got speared through a table when I saw it. Oh, well, not speared. Gored. Right? No, spear. Gore! But, be that as it may, like I said, there's those top 3 promotions that we talk about, but then we talk about, we want to get really into the fact that there is a local talent pool in this city alone, even in upstate New York as a whole, and even New Jersey and stuff like that. More on that later, but so stay tuned. But there's just there's kids here. They're hungry. They're young. They're
learning business.
They're learning the business, and it's one of those things where it's really nice to see that the wrestling business is definitely thriving still, and it can thrive for years to come. If you guys look behind us, this is. It's one of those things, like it's one once in a lifetime type thing.
This is where the magic
It's literally where the magic happens, and we'll get you in. You're where your all access pass.
But I mean, it's not the performance center.
Oh no.
You get in, get your fix, get out.
Performance center, my ass. Did you hear AJ Styles? Did you hear AJ Styles say he would like to go and work with performance talent people when he's done? Like, of course he does. Chico has something for us.
You have breaking news.
What happened?
Uh-oh.
Shout out to Shannon Smith.
Our special panelist correspondent. Y'all remember him?
He just posted a screenshot saying that Mustafa Ali has tweeted, "I am requesting my release from WWE."
Oh wow, yeah. They're not using him. That's the problem. That's the problem. Like all that stuff that they could have used him on. He's super athletic and
he's charismatic.
Yeah, very. And I hope AEW picks him up because he's better than Tony Nese. So. I mean, not knocking Tony Nese, but I mean,
you could. He's a guy that you make room for.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And then we still got Gargano and Keith Lee to come in because damn well they're coming.
Yeah,
there's no way you can pass them up.
Gargano, I think, is happening on the 26th.
Yeah, was it Cleveland?
In Cleveland on the Beach Break show.
I'm ready for that. If Orange Cassidy doesn't do a beach break on Beach Break, I'm gonna be very upset. So, just putting that out there. So, but anywho, I mean, fellas, is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Because we want to. What I think we're gonna do is, for the fans, we're gonna take them around, show them things that we are getting into, and hopefully, catch some of the people. And, it's gonna be a good show, y'all. Absolutely. A demonstration, per se. So legalities and stuff like that. That's how.
No.
Not live sex celebration.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
We're not gonna use our wedding tackle, our meat and two veg, our swinging berries.
Right. That would really like to have you. I wish it could.
How did this get in here? Someone's pulling a prank on me. Honestly, it's not mine. But
Yeah, just real quick. I know that a couple weeks ago we didn't really talk about Dynamite like that.
yeah,
And Jay Cargill did win the TV.
That's okay. We call it okay.
Jay Cargill did win the TBS belt.
Yeah.
By beating Ruby Rose with a jaded off of the second turnbuckle.
it was a good match for one.
Yeah.
Good moment for two, and
Yeah, seeing her like pose with the belt, her daughter at the stage was really nice.
there's some good pictures circulating out there about it as well. But, yo,
Not just the first black female TBS champion, the first TBS champion period, and the first black female champion in the company.
and I'm very glad that didn't take on a life of its own after the whole Big Swole controversy and stuff like that, because they could have easily went south.
Yeah.
Well, if you know wrestling, you knew it going in anyway. Like,
Yeah, exactly. That whole tournament was
If you
designed
know
to get her
wrestling, a
over.
lot of people don't.
Yeah, that's very true.
But you know.
That's very true. So yeah, you got to know wrestling. If you don't know wrestling, it's gonna seem stupid to you. It's gonna look stupid to you.
and also, I have faith that even when it comes time for her to drop it, it will at least be a competitive match and
Yeah.
not a 26-second squash.
Who do you think's taking it?
Let's not even go.
Oh, did that happen this week? Right? Like, was it an Aaliyah match or something like that?
Italian, 3 seconds.
3 se-
3 seconds.
They seem perfect.
On Friday?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Did I just hear you say
3 seconds.
3 seconds? But like, it's stuff like that where it's just like, why do you even try to create history, that type of thing? So it's, I don't understand that. These are the guys right here, all right? Pay attention. Keep your ears open, because that's what they go do. Y'all gonna see lots right there.
They can't see us. They can't see us.
They can't see you. Well, we know they're there. It's gonna
They're
happen.
coming from the ground, man.
They come up from the ground.
Paying no attention.
Don't worry, they're not Undertaker zombies from WrestleMania 29. Don't worry about that. But
Penis druids.
can he say that?
Oh, what about the zombies that
Ate the Miz.
You said it's a little Miz and all of us.
I mean, I would need the Miz, maybe Maurice, but you know. Keep that up again.
Good night, everybody.
No comment. I love you, mama.
Yeah, you don't love mama movies. That's what. Marcus, good to meet you.
We got cameos everywhere.
Yes. We're loving it. We really are. We're down here. We are in Scott's Flower City Wrestling Academy. Marcus, good to meet you.
Here you go.
Good to meet you guys. Hey, what's up?
Hi.
But in which case, like we're saying, guys, like it's there are things that AEW can work on, but it's
They
not
have all
a
the time in the world
They
to
have
improve.
all the time in the world.
Not some stupid 25-year company that can improve but chooses not to.
Not even 25 years, like that. Even went way
Well,
longer
how
than that.
long
Like
they are.
however
They
long,
still
it's like
suck.
60.
Still
Like
suck.
since their inception, they've been stuck in their ways. So until they were forced to change something else. You heard about that report, right? The response, WWE was like, oh, we don't do all that gory stuff or whatever. We think that pertains to a different market or whatever. Yeah, hell yeah, our market.
That's fine. We don't need you to anymore.
Right, we don't need y'all. We can feel that. We're not
But yet
blind.
they want some of that
Jesus.
talent pool, like an MJF or a Wardlow.
No, of course. MJF's just working it. Look,
Yeah.
like that's what I like
The
about it.
bidding war of
Yeah,
2024.
the bidding war. Oh, and it rhymes too. You know it rhymes. Admit it. But it's one of those things, guys, where it's a wait and see approach. Is what I'm thinking. So, but with AEW, you can trust it.
Yeah.
You can trust the process, if you will. So, Oh, y'all know more about that one. Don't you worry. But anyway, is there anything else that we'd like to touch on, fellas?
I'll see you next week.
We can do one more quick thing.
See you next week.
Is Pac Daredevil now?
I would say
Yes.
see you next Tuesday.
Yes.
But I don't know.
This is what I didn't want. Like, I didn't want him to come out like wrestling blind.
Yeah.
And
I think you can see through that.
And I think that's what's gonna happen.
I think that it's kind of like what was it, Snake or whatever? Like, no, it's not Snake.
Like we're talking about the pot situation?
Yeah, the Pac situation with the blindfold.
Yeah, because he got spit in the face by Malachi Black.
I do really like that they're continuing that. There's little details and stuff like that. I think he's going to be like that, where it's like, oh, I've lost this, but my other senses are heightened. And he can definitely pull something off like that. He's quick like that.
Yeah.
So if anything, do the quickness.
I don't know. I just don't want that to be like a Nadia situation from back in the day.
Who? Oh, Nydia?
Nydia.
That was funny though. That was cool. I liked it. I'm a Ruthless Aggression era fan, so I mean that's when that was. And I remember them specifically coming here. Was it the Radisson or whatever? After Jamie Noble got his money or whatever, and she had the fur coat.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I remember that fondly.
Yeah, she's in the ring. Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure Pac will do it different. Like, I know she was in the ring, like, going like this.
Yeah, that's very WWE-ish. So,
Performance.
Yeah, performance arts. So
Whereas Pac, like, you know, he's got the agility and all that.
Exactly.
So,
and that's why we trust it. That's why we trust that AEW's going to do that very well. He's going to do it justice.
yeah.
Does he join the House of Black when he comes back?
I wish he did. I really do. I wish that whatever that grunge is or whatever would like take them over, that type of thing. But then again, you would have to do the same thing with Julia.
I think that's kind of in the works too. I think that's little.
Yeah.
Little seeds
Because
in
what do
there,
you do
too.
with the what do you do with the varsity ones anyway?
Well, I mean, before any of that stuff, like they were a good pairing, like them and Pillman Jr.
Yeah.
Griff, it got Griff Garrison the spot, which
Griff Garrison.
Yeah, he's tall Jungle Boy.
Who the fuck is Griff Garrison?
Tall Jungle Boy.
and then Julia Hart being a former cheerleader, right? Or,
Yeah, absolutely. You think one of them's dating the other one, or what?
No, well, Julia Hart and Lee Johnson.
Lee Johnson, yeah, that's it. That's right. Okay, yeah, I can. But Shoddy Lee.
Shoddy?
Yeah.
Well, you better not be shoddy, Lee Johnson.
Yeah, shout out to them.
Why? Why? What did he do to you? Yeah, we wouldn't have known that if it wasn't for what was it Rose to the Top? Or whatever. Well, we probably would have. But then, you know.
Actually, real quick, since we've been talking about like what we're gonna do like for sponsoring these guys, Flower City Wrestling Academy,
Yeah.
you want to go over like what you would like to see in 2022?
As far as just like the wrestling.
Yeah, wrestling landscape, AEW, just wrestling
Okay.
overall. I'd like to go over that.
Well, first of all, Flower City, I love to see this take off. This concept here is it's top notch. It really is. Like one-stop shop. It's kind of like their own home arena, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see a situation like this thrive outside the impact zone, you know. So
Yeah, and support your local indies, folks.
please support your local indies, especially here in the ROC, because
You never know who can break out.
absolutely so many people that came from here, things like that. Obviously,
Went on to
thrown
do
in
bigger
here.
and better things.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to say that you were able to see them way back when.
Yep, and watch them come
Watch
up.
it from then to now.
And watch them flourish and stuff like that. So, you know, like TJ Epics or I'm just gonna name some names here. You know, The Process and
I always like
yeah.
Matic from here myself.
Yeah, Matic for sure. There's a whole Cheech, Colin Delaney.
Oh my man, Biddy, aka Brian Milliman. He's been doing it for a while.
Yes, sir. And there's just so many people. Keenan Moore. It's Alec Price, Dewey, Big Mother Trucker. You know.
And shout out to the two Mikes for letting us have this opportunity.
Yes, sir. Hellcat, Mike Champion. We are very, very, very appreciative of you guys, and we really do look forward to the opportunity of working with you guys, working closely with you guys, and there's going to be a hell of an opportunity for everybody involved. So we ridiculously thank you for that. But as far as like in AEW or even WWE, I guess, I mean, just me personally, it just makes sense. Like that's literally it. Like I'm gonna like it if it makes sense. I'm almost half tempted to watch the Royal Rumble because that's an easy watch, and I don't have to really think when I watch that.
I'll tell you right now, I'm gonna watch it for watching sake.
Just for watching sake?
Yeah, just for watching sake.
Okay. We might do a little something with that. So keep your eyes peeled on that.
Yeah, just the match concept itself is it's been a really good one.
It's timeless.
It's been one of their big four like forever now. Like, when I was coming up, it was Rumble, Mania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. When I was a kid, I couldn't wait for it.
Yeah, see that excitement and things like that. And there's a lot of things that they're gonna be trying to do with it, at least this year, to get eyes back on it, because they know eyes are off of it. That's not a secret. So they're gonna try their best. And you'll probably never hear me say this again, but I hope they nail it. I'm not gonna lie. I would want the wrestling business to prosper. So,
Yo, people coming in, shut the fuck up.
but in which case, guys, we are just about wrapped up here.
That just shows you live on location.
Oh, absolutely.
You never know what's gonna happen.
We love it. We dig it.
So yeah, as far as AEW goes, I'd like to see the Briscoes FTR match finally going on.
Do you think that's going to happen in Ring of Honor?
Possibly.
Because Ring of Honor's on the way back.
If they legit bring it back, then it would happen over there.
Yeah, I would hope so. I mean, do you think Tony just like maybe doesn't want to bring Briscoes in and just trying to get it to happen somewhere else, or what? Maybe in GCW. You never know.
Yeah, it's hard to say because there were like rumblings of the Briscoes like possibly like being signed.
Yeah.
That's still up in the air.
And then they keep doing their promos and stuff like that. You know, who knows?
I mean, they could be signed. They could like still possibly hold the belts for a little bit. So
Yeah.
we're gonna have to wait and see as far as that.
I
I like to see trios belts finally.
Oh God, yes, please.
Finally drop.
Please, like, please, Tony, I'm begging you.
You have enough teams to make it happen, and it gives a lot of these guys something to do in the what.
We really do. I mean, you never just do things just to do them. Like Tony, like, what are you gonna do? Just all of a sudden just jump up and come together with some trios titles? Well, he got more sense than that. He's gonna come up with trios titles. So.
I'm a trios champ.
Hell yeah. Yes, that's what we want. That's exactly what we want.
That's why we're here.
Yes, sir. But I'd like to see that happen. I really would like to see. That's probably the top thing I would like to see happen. Is like get some trios action going, because they do a lot of trios matches. They do more trios matches than they do triple threat matches. Yeah. So, you know.
And I know how you guys feel about MJF, and I know that his time will come, but with CM Punk coming in and him basically being an ambassador to the company, I think it's only right that he holds the world title for some amount of time.
Oh yeah, it's
And
gonna happen. Yeah.
being the legit face of the company.
Eddie Kingston just made a post as well saying, "Hey, like I'm getting in shape.
He's trying to get back in shape. He wants to be
He wants a world title run," and I am all for that.
That's the best goal you should have for all of us.
Yeah, but like they said, if you're not going to be world champion, what the hell are you doing here? Exactly. So it's one of those things, boys. We got to see how it works out. So, you know, I used to say with WWE, take the bad and the good or whatever, but I don't have to say that here. So
And I want Keith Lee signed to AEW specifically.
Get your ass.
Get in there. It's going to happen.
Bring him along with you.
He wants to go there. He's lying if he says he doesn't want to go there. Yeah. He wants
to go there.
He wants to go.
He said he don't want to go there?
No, he ain't saying, but you know he wants to.
Say you lying to yourself if that was the case. Can you stop lying to yourself?
Oh my God.
Right.
But in which case, guys, we gonna get on up out of here, and we gonna take y'all around or whatever. So let's stick around. And this is where the magic happens. You're gonna be seeing a lot of this place, guys. A lot of this place. Located Marketplace Mall. Scenic Marketplace Mall. And it's one of those things that we're just gonna have to experience for ourselves. So let's head in here. It's one of those things. Once in a lifetime. Check that out. Now that's
All right, everybody, thanks for coming to the brand new Flower City Wrestling Academy. Action's gonna get going in about 15 minutes. Get ready for FCWA Homecoming right here at the Marketplace Mall.
Check this baby out, y'all. Check that out. Look at that.
History.
Absolute history. UPW Tag Team Championship.
Do you know what this means?
Get me a towel. The history. It's Brody Lee, baby. We love you, Brody. Always will. Legend. I mean, my goodness.
They were good for like a month.
That is sexy.
We kept them in the cases.
You gotta believe that this would have been Brody Lee's version of the TNT title. You have to believe that.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that it wasn't going to be. This place is steeped in local history here, man. Backstage. The inner machinations. All right, guys, we're going back this way. See some of the fans are already here. And this looks phenomenal. You know, Rock Solid Wrestling Talk Podcast in the building. Hell of a building, of course. Greed sucks! That's pure gold.
Thank you, Big Sean. You've been excused. Get out of my way.
Talk Big Sean like that!
Where's the rest of my team at? There.
This is the action you only get down here at Flower City Wrestling Academy. Buck Nasty, Marcus Johnson, Rock Solid Wrestling Talk Podcast. This is where it's at. This is where y'all need to be. Partners.